Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Movie News. We got a lot to cover. A lot has been said these last few days with the studios. Just a lot of news has been coming out. It's kind of insane. We've been, struggling for movie news this January, but the last couple of days have been just crazy for news. Some exciting news, some sad news. But let's get started with the first piece of news. Andrew Garfield is no longer set to play Frankenstein in Guillermo del Toro's adaptation. Jacob Elordi has now replaced him. I'm kind of sad about this only because I think Andrew Garfield, I think this would have been really big for him, especially because it's a Guillermo del Toro film, could do very well awards wise. It's one of those films that, could be kind of weird, but, Shape of Water was weird, but Guillermo del Toro won Oscars for that. So I think this one will do well awards wise. I think it would have done better with Andrew Garfield. Jacob Elordi, I think, is amazing. He was great in Priscilla, great in Euphoria, but I think Andrew Garfield was, the bigger person for this role, the better person for this role. I don't know why Andrew Garfield had to step out of the role. That's going to be interesting to see, maybe scheduling conflicts, but I feel like they lost, a great person for this role. We have now learned that writing is now underway on the God of War Amazon Prime series, and this is very exciting to finally hear that they're starting work on this show. Even though it's just the writing, we're probably not even going to see this show until maybe 2027, 2028 at the latest, so it's very far away. But I'm still very excited to hear more about the show. I'm not sure who they're going to cast in this show, but the video game is great. It's going to be a very hard show to adapt just because all the effects and all that. But it being Prime Video, I have a lot of faith in them because they do well with visual effects, practical effects, and their shows have some great writing. So we're not going to see the show for a long time, but I'm still very excited for it. And then we got a new season of Ahsoka is officially in the works. We're finally getting a second season of Ahsoka. I mean, we've been talking about this for a while. We already knew they were going to do a second season, but we had no official confirmation. But yeah, I'm very excited for a second season of Ahsoka. I'm kind of, in the minority. I really did love the first season. A lot of people didn't love it as much as me. It just was awesome seeing the Rebels characters on screen in live action, all of them, not all of them together, but most of them. Ezra in there. I just love the lightsaber duels and that. The end of the season cliffhanger was insane, and I loved just spending time with these characters so much more. And keeping the subject on Star Wars, we have a new confirmation that the Mandalorian and Grogu movie is officially in the works, and Jon Favreau is set to direct this for a theatrical release. This is very exciting for me. A lot of people, when this news came out, were kind of disappointed by it, but I'm very excited for it because I felt like the last season, season 3, had a lot of filler. It just didn't know where it was going. It didn't feel like The Mandalorian anymore like the first 2 seasons. It felt really messy. So I feel like just a 2-hour, 2.5-hour movie will be great for them to just go on, a single expedition, fight one bad guy and be done with it. And maybe meet up with Ahsoka later on. I hate the filler. I think Star Wars kind of struggles with that. I think Andor's the only show that hasn't struggled with filler for them. Hopefully the Acolyte will be better, but I feel like this is the right choice. He's done enough in Disney Plus. I feel like he belongs on the big screen. It's their biggest show yet, and I feel like it'll work better for them if he's on the big screen. It'll be really cool to see Grogu in a movie too. Everyone loves Grogu, everyone loves Mandalorian, and we just don't want any more filler. We have some major casting updates on The Last of Us Season 2. Kaitlyn Dever has officially been cast as Abby. We've all been speculating this. There's been rumors about it, but it's officially confirmed. Kaitlyn Dever has now joined the cast. It's going to be very exciting to see her in this show. I feel like she's going to do great in the action. I don't know. I mean, I think she kind of looks like Abby in a certain way, but we're going to see if she beefs up anymore for this role. Because, I mean, Abby, I haven't played Last of Us Part 2 much. I've only played a little bit of it. But, there's Abby flashbacks where she's not as beefed up. Abby, present day where she is. It's going to be really cool to see her in the show. Really cool to see how dark they go with this. Supposedly they're going for season 2 and season 3. But I cannot wait to see Kaitlyn Dever in this role. Young Mazzino has been cast as Jesse in The Last of Us Season 2. I don't know anything about this character only because I just, popped in The Last of Us Part 2 on my PlayStation. So I don't really know. But Young Mazzino was great in Beef. I'm really happy he's getting another huge role after that. So I'm really excited to see him. And the last update we have for The Last of Us is Isabella Merced has been cast as Dina. Do know a little bit about Dina, but not too much. But Isabella, she's been getting a lot of work. She's gonna be in the DC now. She's gonna be in Madam Web, but that's not gonna turn out great. And now she's in this. I think she's also in another big project. I think Alien Romulus was the other one that she's in. So she's getting a lot of work. So good for her. We're getting some big casting updates for Last of Us Season 2, so it's gonna start production really soon. Ghostbusters Frozen Empire has been pushed to March 22nd from its March 29th release date. So just a week push for this one. They're trying to spread the March releases out a little bit. I talked about this a little bit. March is way too packed. It's just gonna be like last year. A lot of movies are gonna lose money. I think the studios are just being very dumb with this decision. And I'm very excited for Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire, but there's a lot of better movies coming in March. I think that will do better than this one. But yeah, I did like the Ghostbusters Afterlife, so I'm still gonna tune in for this one. I'm still hold my expectations though. Godzilla x Kong, The New Empire has moved up to March 29th. So basically, this and Ghostbusters have swapped positions. So, Ghostbusters is in a really bad spot considering that they're only going to get premium screens, IMAX, for like 1 week. Godzilla's going to take them for like 2 to 3 weeks. I think like Godzilla needs them a little bit more. It's MonsterVerse action. Very excited for this one. If it's just full blown action, I'm going to be very hyped. They said it's going to be very cool to see Scar as the villain. He's going to be pretty scary. So I'm hoping they're true. They're holding true to that word. Hopefully there's not many humans, but I'm still just super hyped for this one. We got some bad news though. Mickey 17 has been delayed indefinitely due to strike related delays. I'm kind of confused about this one because it is done filming. It says on IMDb that it's in post-production right now. I'm thinking that it's not really they're not really, delaying it a whole year to 2025. A lot of people have been saying 2025, and I'm like, no, they're not waiting until 2025 for this one. It's basically done, probably like 90% done. I'm pretty sure they're gonna release this one at a film festival first, because it's Bong Joon-ho. You got to really release it there first, and then they're gonna release it a couple months later in theaters, just to get that early word out. I'm guessing they're gonna either release it in theaters summer or a fall winter date, because this one could get nominated for some Oscars. But I feel like it's just gonna be very hard for Mickey 17 to go up against something like Dune, for technical awards and all that. But maybe, it's so great that Bong Joon-ho can like win director, or, there can be cast awards or best picture. I don't know how good this movie is. I still haven't even finished the book, but I still think it's coming in 2024. There's no way they're gonna, keep it till 2025. It just seems a little odd. Then we have Leonardo DiCaprio, Sean Penn, and Regina Hall will star in Paul Thomas Anderson's next film for Warner Bros., described as PTA's most commercial film ever. It's kind of interesting. PTA is not known for very commercial films, but having Leonardo DiCaprio in it is going to help you. And I'm very, we have no details on this, but I'm very happy Leonardo DiCaprio is, in a PTA film, because, he's been with Scorsese for a little bit. I'm happy to see him go over for Paul Thomas Anderson just a little bit more, branch out just a little bit more. So I'm going to be looking for more details on this when we start to get more about it. Warner Bros. Bosses are hoping to get Tom Cruise to develop Edge of Tomorrow 2. This has been said because Tom Cruise has officially made a deal with Warner Bros. To star in more movies for that studio. I think because he likes that studio a little bit more. And if this happens, I'll be the happiest man on earth, because Edge of Tomorrow is one of the most underrated action science fiction movies, one of my favorites, I think, of all time. It's just so well put together. The action is amazing. Just Tom Cruise in it's amazing. It's a spin on Groundhog Day and all that. Emily Blunt's amazing. There have been talks of Edge of Tomorrow 2 for so long. We've just never gotten it. I think the visuals of this movie are great. And, I think Tom Cruise wants to come back to this. I think Emily Blunt wants to come back to this. They just need to get it up and rolling. It's a terrible title, Edge of Tomorrow 2, Edge of Tomorrow, Live to Repeat, like they called the first one. But still, I really want Tom Cruise to make this. It will be amazing if we finally get Edge of Tomorrow 2. David Gordon Green will not return to direct Exorcist Believer sequel, which is supposed to be called Exorcist Deceiver, I think. And it's officially been delayed indefinitely. And I will say, it's for good reason. Exorcist Believer was one of the worst movies of last year, and one of the worst horror movies of last year. It was absolutely terrible. I hated my time in that theater watching that. David Gordon Green, I think, should take a whole step back from horror movies, maybe go for something original, because it just didn't work for him. I feel like his direction just hasn't worked since Halloween Kills, Halloween 2018, which is so long ago. So I think that no one really cares about The Exorcist anymore. And I do feel bad for the main actress, because, her role in that Exorcist Believer movie wasn't great. Supposedly there's drama on set for that movie. I really think that they should just scrap the 2 sequels. It's just no point for that. I know they paid a lot of money for the rights. That's their fault. I don't know why they paid that much for the Exorcist rights. It doesn't make much sense. And I feel like David Gordon Green should really, take a step back, think of what he's doing, and maybe stop doing horror for just a little bit. The Michael Jackson biopic is officially set to release in theaters on April 18th, 2025. So just, a year and a couple months from now, we're going to be getting that movie. I'm very worried about this movie. I'm very cautious about this movie. It's really freaking me out just to hear that we're getting a Michael Jackson biopic, because of just, what happened through his life, how different, he looks throughout his life. and I'm not really sure what the whole story is going to be about, how much it's going to span throughout his life. Michael Jackson is, the biggest pop star in the world ever, and he's one of my favorite artists to ever be alive. His music just has a hold on everyone throughout, Halloween with Thriller, Beat It, and all those different, Billie Jean. He's great. It sucks what happened to him, how he died, and I really do hope that this can be successful. He's huge. Everyone's going to be, flocking to see this movie, flocking to see the trailer when it officially releases. Hopefully that it works out. Hopefully it won't, tarnish him, a little bit. But I'm very cautious about it. I'll stay cautious about it. But we're getting very close to that release. Only like a year away for it. This is probably the biggest news of this whole, video, and it's Top Gun 3 is now officially in the works. The script is currently being written, and Tom Cruise is going to return, of course. Glenn Powell and Miles Teller are the three that are officially going to release that I've heard so far, and I'm ecstatic. I'm over the moon right now. I'm a little cautious just because, Top Gun Maverick ended so perfectly. It was one of my favorite films of 2022, just because it hit me really hard, because it was, right when it was like the day, it was, I saw it like the day I ended high school, the day I graduated. So it just, hit me hard to see an amazing movie that day after, amazing day already. And, I saw that movie like 5 times in theaters. I saw it like, I've seen it like more times on my TV. Just such an amazing movie to watch. The IMAX scenes are amazing. The sound design's amazing. It's a simple story, but I mean, a simple story is not bad. If Tom Cruise is in your movie and it's a simple story, it's still gonna be great. I just really love that movie. I hope they can capture the Maverick magic again of Maverick and the rest of the crew. Hopefully, hopefully everyone else gets to come back. Don't know what the story will be for it, but I just hope it will be good. Just finish out, a Top Gun trilogy. That would be really cool to see. I am so hyped for this movie. And the last movie news story we have today is Kingdom of the Planet Apes has moved up its release date to May 10th. It was officially set to release on May 24th, I think, but now it's coming out May 10th. So we're gonna see more movies try to space out. I'm still hoping that they space out some March movies, push some of those to April. Just be a little bit safer, because that's gonna be their fault if they keep it in March. But Kingdom of the Planet Apes, it's a very smart decision by I think this 20th Century and Disney, because this was officially set to release on 24th, as I said, and Furiosa was also coming out on that day. So it was going to be a wild day, and I'm very glad that they pushed that out to another day. So they don't have to share IMAX. One of them doesn't have to be pushed off premium screens. Still going to be able to see this one on premium screens. I'm very excited for this movie. Still a little bit worried about it because War from the Planet of the Apes was so amazing. I'm not really sure how this story is going to go. I don't know how there's still humans living in this world, but still, the action, the VFX look great. But I'm still very excited for it. We're going to get it even sooner now, May 10th. I'm very hyped. But let me know, what did you guys think of the movie news stories that I covered today? We got a lot we got to cover today. It was great. I loved all the news. But if you did enjoy, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.